Good afternoon. Poppy here with no microphone. Good afternoon. Poppy here. When you were born and your parents were raising you, they often told you that in America, you can grow up to be anything you want to be. I think that was always true throughout my life. I don't think that anymore. Let's look at what it would take for us to become a medical doctor in the United States in 2026. So to become a doctor in 2026. So today we're going to talk about a very small subset of medical care, doctors. Last day or so, I took a look at what does it take for us or one of our children to become a doctor in 2026. It's surprising and not surprising. Let's get into it. One of the first things to talk about is the number of students that graduate medical school that can enter residency. Medical residency is a requirement for every state in the U.S. to get your medical certification from the State Board of Medical Examiners. This year, the statistics for 2024 show that in 2024 there was 41,482 applicants matched to residency programs, which is a pretty strong number. One of the most important things we're going to talk about is a report that was filed in 1980, but it is the Graduate Medical Education National Advisory Committee, which was established in 1976 by the Health and Human Services Department. Now, the report in 1980, the GMENAC report, famously predicted a massive physician surplus, forecasting 70,000 extra doctors by 1990 and 145,000 extra by 2000. It recommended cutting medical school enrollment by 17% and freezing new schools and restricting the International Medical Graduate Program. It doesn't take very long to research what a catastrophic impact this had on our medical professionals. By 2006, the Association of Medical Colleges had already figured out that they needed to enact a 30% increase just to cover the loss of the medical professionals from the 1990s into the 2000s. Unfortunately, that was vastly underrepresented. The domestic U.S. medical graduates have grown steadily, but not enough to meet demand. There's 16,000 to 20,000 international medical graduate students or doctors who are being brought to the U.S. each year to provide the additional medical care. We see here in 2025, we have 163,000 medical professionals in residency programs, but that doesn't account for the 3 to 4 year medical residency requirements or the 5 to 7 year medical residency requirements for specialties. The condition that we actually have every year, and that is the number of U.S. medical students do not meet the number of medical residencies available each year, and hence the need to use the International Medical Graduation Program to fill in the needs. Every year, and every year into the future, we're going to have a shortfall in every program. Look at this graphic here into the right, you'll see the medical school breakdown. U.S. medical schools, MDs, are 57% of the match for residency programs. Doctor of Osteopath, if I'm saying that correctly, represents 18.5 or 19% of the matches, which leaves a high 24.2% for international medical graduates in our residency programs. The Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, or COBRA Act of 1985, limited the number of residency programs after what they considered to be skyrocketing costs associated with training the medical doctors in the residency programs. Other organizations that play a part in our medical doctor training and certification at the state level are the Association of American Medical Colleges and the Federation of State Medical Boards, along with the Congress. There's a sitting committee in Congress that reviews this information annually. There's also the Professional American Medical Association that has a large input into all of these levels of training, certification, to emphasize where we are today. If you wanted to become a doctor in the United States, you would have to not only complete your medical education, but then you would have to navigate the very difficult residency requirements, knowing that you're also competing with international medical graduates at the same time. So into the future. So as of this year, the people who are determining this data, and you can see the organizations responsible at the bottom of the graphic, U.S. doctor shortages are expected to rise by 86,000 doctors. We're not talking about the physician assistants or the nursing. This is specific to doctors. The 86,000 shortage is expected to be upon us before 2036. Who knows what the real numbers will be, but unless Congress enables more residency programs, we're going to be in a continual shortfall.